Welcome students. In the previous lecture of Fundamentals of Language Processing, we have seen analysis of source program. In this particular lecture, we are going to see the synthesis of target program. In the same point, we have one more concept named as phases and passes of language processor. So let us begin. Now, synthesis of target program consists of two main activities. First one is creation of data structures in the target program. Second one is generation of target code. First activity is also called as memory allocation. And the second activity, generation of target code, is called as code generation. So we are going to see these points in this lecture. So let us come back to the same example. Percent underscore profit equal to profit into 100 divided by cost price. A language processor generates the following assembly language statement for the assignment statement shown on the screen. So let us understand what exactly this code is. Whatever code is generated by language processor is called as assembly language. Here, move a register comma profit will move the content of profit from memory location to the A register. Move R indicates move from memory to CPU register. After moving profit into a particular register, multiplication is expected. Now here you can see we'll decide the order how this particular statement will be executed. So first operation to be performed is multiplication of profit with 100. So this is 1. After multiplication we'll get some result. Then we are going to do second operation that will divide 1 whatever we got profit in 100 by cost price, and at last we will assign the value to percent profit. So this is what we are going to do here. So move r a raised to comma profit will move profit to a register. Now next statement is mult a register comma 100. So this particular operation will be done by this particular instruction mult. Next is div a register comma cost price. So this particular operation of divide will be done by the div. Now what this A register contains? A register contains profit into 100 divided by cost price. At last, whatever is calculated is saved into A register. Now this A register is to be assigned with percent profit. What will happen? This by using this particular mnemonic, move M A register comma percent profit. So whatever is there in A register will be moved to the percent profit. So this assignment is done by this particular statement. This division is done by this particular statement. And this multiplication is done by this particular statement. Now, at least one of the operand must be in register. That's why this particular statement is required. At least one of the operator must be there in register. Now, this is not the end of the assembly language program. We have some more statements also. So after these three statements, we have declared the data type of percent profit. DW stands for double one. Profit, same data type. Cost price, same data type. The length of each data type is 1. So we will be learning the assembly language program in detail in the chapter number 2 named as assemblers. For time being, keep in mind that the length of percent profit is 1, cost of profit, the length of percent profit is 1, the length of profit is also 1, cost price length is also 1. I will clear here itself what this length is. We know we write int a. Here a's length is 1. If I write int a of 5, now tell me what is the length of a? Those who said 5 is correct. Int a of 5 indicates the length of a is 5. Here percent profit is a single variable, profit is a single variable, cost price is a single variable. That's why length of every variable is 1. Now I think it is clear. Now you can see here the profit is used before its declaration. What is the data type of profit is given here, but before that it is used. Applicable for cost price, applicable for percent profit. So this is how the assembly language works. I hope you got this particular example clear. A language processor generates following assembly language statements for percent underscore profit equal to profit into 100 divided by cost price. Let us go to the next slide. Where move a value from memory location to CPU. Move the value from CPU register to memory location. DW results one or more words in the memory. So whatever is given on this slide is already explained while explaining what this particular code is. Let us go to the next slide. Next is phases and passes of language processor. Now whatever we have seen up till now about language processor is indicating only two things. That is, there are two phases, analysis phase and synthesis phase. So the definition of language processor itself gives that it is a combination of analysis of a source program and synthesis of a target program. So analysis phase and synthesis phase, these are the two phases in the language processor. So I think heading is clear now. Heading is phases of language processor and passes of language processor, out of which we have a diagram for phases of a language processor. What this diagram is indicating? This diagram is indicating that language processor as a whole is having two phases. First one is analysis phase, second one is synthesis phase. Source program is given as input to the analysis phase. If any errors are there, analysis phase will give errors. If there are no errors, synthesis phase will come into picture. If errors are there, synthesis phase will also give error, and at last target program will be generated. Now we have seen in the previous slide that percent profit example and the assembly code for that particular percent profit example. Okay, so by looking at this particular diagram, you may feel that language processor takes a single statement, analyzes it, passes to the synthesis phase, and a target program is generated. But this is not going to be true. Why? That we will see in the next slide. Now read the slide carefully. The language processor diagram gives the impression that language processing can be performed on statement by statement basis. That is, analysis of source statement is immediately followed by synthesis of equivalent target statement. It seems like that, but it is not like that. That's why here we have written that, here author have written that the language processor diagram gives the impression, but it is not actually true. This is not feasible. Whatever we just discussed line by line is not feasible due to the following issues. So what are these two issues that we will see? First issue is forward reference, and second issue is issues concerning memory requirements and organization of language processor. Now again, one by one we have to see what is meant by language, what is meant by forward reference, what is meant by issues concerning memory requirements and organization of language processor. So let us start with forward reference. Now, in the previous slides, we have seen that we are using a particular variable before its declaration. That is called as forward reference. The bookish definition is mentioned over here is a forward reference of a program entity is a reference to the entity which precedes its definition in the program. Means a particular entity is referenced when it's used before its definition in the program. How? Here you can see. Now here, profit is the entity which is used here, but its definition is after using. That means for these many statements, this particular statement is not knowing the meaning of profit until it visits this particular statement. So it waits till all these statements gets finished and it visits long profit. So I think you got the meaning of a forward reference. A forward reference of a program entity is a reference to the entity which precedes its definition in the program. Here is the example, as you can see. Now, what is the solution to this particular forward reference? Now, the solution for forward reference will be another lecture because it takes a lot of time to understand. So, in the next lecture, we'll see how to handle the problem of forward reference. Now, next issue is issues regarding memory requirements and organization of a language processor. First of all, we'll finish issue regarding language processor. So, what is language processor? As we say, language processor is a software which takes source program as input, analyzes, synthesizes, and gives the output as a target program. But this particular language processor also needs some size from the main memory because it's again a software. So this is the issue regarding memory allocation, that how much amount of memory is to be given to the language processor. So in short, in a single line we can say language processor is also a software which wants memory in the memory for the execution purpose. Now coming back to the issue concerning memory requirement, now consider the 3 to 4 lines given over here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now tell me how much amount of memory required for int A, how much amount of memory required for int A B C D E F G H I. Similarly for int A of 5 and int A B C D E F G H I 5. So you can guess, you can write somewhere memory required for int A, memory required for int A B C D E F G H I is same or different? Same or different? It is same. Same. Why? A is the name, A B C D E F G H I is also a name. So there will be no difference if you write A or if you write A B C D E F G H I. A is also a symbol. A B C D E F G H I is also a symbol. In the previous lecture we said that A is identifier and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I is also an identifier. So it is neither a constant nor a operator nor an operator, but it is not also a keyword. So it is simply a identifier. So both A and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I needs the same amount of memory. Now here we have one more example. Int A of 5 and int A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I of 5. Both need the same memory. Why? Name A and A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I is going to take only one place of memory. But if you write into bracket 5, its length becomes 5. So both need same amount of memory. I'm writing both need same amount of memory. This same indicates memory requirements. Whereas these two identifiers are different. This identifier is different. This identifier is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So identifiers are different, but memory requirement for both these examples is same. I hope you cleared the point how the memory is required and how the memory is calculated. If it is a single length identifier, memory is the memory required for int. And if it is comprising of more number of places like this, then it needs memory of int into 5. So you can calculate 2 bytes into 5, 10 bytes, 10 bytes, 2 bytes, 2 bytes. It's like that. I hope you cleared the concept. What we have seen in this lecture, we have seen some part of the synthesis of target program. We have also seen that we feel that language works on statement by statement basis, but it is not possible because of two problems. First one is forward reference problem. Second one is issues regarding the memory requirements. So, concluding remark for this is we have seen some part of synthesis of target program. So, I have taken all the images from this particular link, the book of author D.M. Damdari sir. I'm using the book System Programming and Operating System by D.M. Damdari, second edition, Tata McGraw-Hill publication. Thank you. Happy learning. We will meet in the next lecture with this particular solution. How to handle the problem of forward reference. This is not required. Forward reference. Thank you.